everybody, and welcome to today's video. As you can see, we're on the 250 in the pasture topper, and we are with the heifers. So what we're going to do is, this field was mown, well half of it was, and that was already topped. That's been mown topped. They're coming in here. So those heifers coming in here, and I'm going to top that field. There's not much weed to top in that field, it's just mainly seed heads. But they're ready for a fresh bite to eat. Get that topped, and then hopefully this field will do in a few weeks, and then we'll put them back in there. Just don't do lecky fence. So this is disconnected now, so perfect time for me to touch and do whatever like that with. So yeah, we'll open this gate like so. Oh, the fence post's in the way. Come on, girls! So that bit's not live, that's the live bit that runs up this wall side. So I can put this over here. And that should be, hopefully they'll come through. Come on! Maybe if I walk through, they might learn. They might realise to come in here. But tell you what we'll just do, I've got this bit of walling to come and do at some point. There's another gap there. While they decide if they're coming through or not. So we'll just have a quick nosy at how second cut's growing. So it's second cut. And this is growing quite well indeed. This is probably one of the best of the fields. I'm saying that it was mown last, so whether it is the best or not, I don't know. I've not really looked in at the other fields. I've still not made the mind up that the gate's wide open, going where the grass is. This had fertiliser probably 2.5 weeks ago now, and we did make a bit of a mess here, and I'm quite surprised how well it's recovered. Now this is the other field, a second cut, and there's another field above this as well. So I think there's like 36 acres on this side. I mean, Gateway's always going to be the worst bit because it's where compaction is and what have you. But it's growing quite well. Hopefully another couple of weeks, another 2 or 3 weeks, and we'll be mowing this again. There's a few docks in this field. That field did spray, that one did have it sprayed. But this one probably be alright till next spring. But then the other field's quite bad with buttercups. They've still not worked it out, have they? There's a gate wide open. And they probably still think the electric fence is still there. In all fairness, it doesn't matter if you don't go in, because I'm going to go in with pasture topper and they can make their own way through. But they will soon realise that there's more grass in this field. See, a couple of weeks ago when we had some, well, say that probably about 3 weeks ago now, we had some really dry weather. I was quite concerned that they were going to get short of grass and that they'd end up having to come in here, but no, they're doing alright. But yeah, they've still not worked it out. Maybe if they see me go through with the tractor and pasture top, they might just realise that actually the gate's undone. Work. I'm having a sniff. So, if you saw in my earlier video when we were putting that fence up and we checked them, I did mention the Aberdeen Angus bull. So the Aberdeen Angus bull, we have had the foot trimmer to him. He's trimmed his foot, and what he said is it's a white line and it got infected and it's burst into his joint and seized his joint. So he sees his chance of like 50-50 whether he gets better or not. So if he's not better in a couple of weeks, we might end up having to look for another bull. But these have worked it out now. Hopefully they don't eat it all at one go, because that field won't grow back quick enough. Well, they are all looking very well. I know some definitely aren't in calf. We could definitely do with getting them in calf, but hey ho. We're gonna have to do something about a bull soon if he's not any better. When I bought that bull, I paid £2,100. You know, I'll be quite open with you, the cost of a bull, because that is how much a bull costs. And I've had some prices. I've messaged a few people that are advertising Aberdeen Angus bulls, and the cheapest one I can find is £2.5 grand. So it's like £400 more than what I spent on him. So, and that was 18 months ago when I bought him. So he's like 2.5 year old. But do I hold out? He might get better. He might not get better. But the longer I'm holding out, the longer I'm waiting to get these in calf again. I mean, there's about, I think there's 8 of these that are definitely in calf for January. But what I'm doing about the rest that aren't in calf, if you know what I mean. They're more interested in eating grass around things. But if anyone wonders, these aren't Aberdeen Angus. I'm talking about Aberdeen Angus bull, but these aren't Aberdeen Angus. These are British Friesians. So you don't milk Aberdeen Angus, because Aberdeen Angus are a beef breed. But I put Aberdeen Angus on heifers because it's easy calving and I'll get on well with the calves. Because they get up and suck, they've got life and they want to get on, they aren't easy care sort of thing. They get on and do their own thing, and look after themselves, which is what I want really. So what we do is we put II, all the milk cows to British Friesian. And then, well, anything that wants beef, I'll AI to beef. And sometimes we put the Angus bull with the milk cows. But we breed all beef off the heifers. And the Angus just get on well. I just get on well with Angus. Because, well, you could argue and say, well, why don't you get a British Friesian bull? And then serve more of the milk cows to beef, which I have debated doing. But dairy bred bulls are renowned for being a bit nasty. We don't want a bull that's going to be a liability. Our Angus bull has been quite as out, he's never caused a problem, never showed any sort of nasty behaviour or anything like that. Anyway, most of them have made their way through. There's 3 that haven't. There's 2 lying down over there, 1 stood there. Is it going to wander through? Well, 174. We'll nip round it. Oh no, there's one down there on the wall side as well. But yeah, they're enjoying that nice bit of grass, that fresh bite of grass. One thing we'll just do is we'll take the lick buckets. So these are garlic licks, if you're wondering, crystal licks. You say garlic, but it's a bit muddy where they've been wet. They've trodden mud onto the buckets, but the garlic lick buckets. And you wonder why am I feeding heifers garlic? Well, garlic is a fly repellent. So with it being a fly repellent, is a good thing at this time of year because flies are abundant on them. And flies can cause an infection, especially in heifers, in calf heifers especially. Bulling heifers can get it as well, called August bag or summer mastitis. And it basically, the flies attack the udders, so they're only little on heifers at this age, but they can get in and they can cause an infection. Flies can, and it then spirals out of control and it'll make that animal very ill very quick. And it's life-threatening really for a heifer. It's definitely very life-threatening, because best case scenario is they'll just get mastitis, and then when they calve down they'll end up, instead of having 4 quarters milking on 4, they'll milk on 3, and that's truly the best case scenario, because if you don't catch it quick enough it will kill them. So that's why we're feeding them garlic, to stop the flies. But not only that, flies pester them and they can lay maggots. Not so much in cows, but if a cow's got, I've had it before where cows have got an infection in the foot, and a blowfly will lay maggots in that foot, and it's absolutely disgusting. They do it a lot with sheep. I think it's because sheep are like an easy predator to flies, I don't really know, and it'll kill sheep like that. Maggots will just eat a sheep alive. It's just truly disgusting. But, right, that's enough of me waffling on. We're going to go in there and we're going to pasture top in there. There's not much weeds, it's just mainly grass that's seeded. It's come to a seed head, so let's pick a bit out here. It's grass that's gone to a head like that, so it's all seeded. There's no nutritional value in that grass, and basically all the topper wants, all it wants doing is the topper slash that off, so the topper will cut it about there, and it'll end up like that. So it'll be that sort of height, and it'll think, oh well, I've been chopped off, and it'll lie back and grow back fresh. That's technically what happens. If anyone wants to blind me with science and work out what actually happens, I'm grateful for that. I'll stand corrected. But for the time being, that's what we're doing. Right, so I just thought I'd just get off the tractor now and I'll just show you what we're trying to do. Right, the PTO on that tractor doesn't stop, so if anyone says about why I've got off without running, it doesn't stop on that tractor. But we're not going near it. And have a look here. So these bits of grass that it's cut, and this is where it hasn't cut. So if you look here, if you get down low, you'll see it's all seed heads. It's all long bits of grass and it's seeded, and it's not very tasty for the cows to eat. So what we're trying to do is, I mean, you can see where I've cut there. But what we're trying to do is it's trying to cut the tops off like that, and all these long bits here, and that there. It's cut, and it's making it all the same height. So basically it'll grow back better. A bit not cut that very well, but so the problem with them inline toppers is that's a Fleming 6 foot, so it's 6 or 7 foot, and if you notice, one wheel isn't running on the grass and the other one is, so it's called a semi-offset. And the idea is that you're running, you know where you're going to run and everything like that. They're pretty simple and easy to use and easy to hook up and whatever. But the wheel runs on the row, on the grass. And as it flattens the grass, it doesn't cut it very well. So you can end up with strips where the wheels run and the topper's not managed to cut under the grass. But anyhow, that's, if it's missed bits, that's what happens. But hopefully, doing this whole field, I mean, it is pretty bare as it is. There isn't a massive amount out here that needs doing. But hopefully, like 2 or 3 weeks time, when the heifers have eaten that other field up, this field will be like that field, and it'll be fresh green, and there'll be another bite to eat out here. And by doing this, it'll stop us ending up having to feed them outside, because we don't really want to be doing that unless we have to. Like, you see all this, like, this isn't going to be very tasty, all these bits of long grasses and whatever. The topper will go over that on the next run, and top all that down. And the same with the buttercups, it'll just get rid of all the buttercups, any weeds or anything out here. This field is very clean because we had it sprayed. So, because we had it sprayed, there shouldn't be many weeds. There is some buttercups, but apart from that I've not seen any thistles, which is quite good. So normally either my dad or my brother do the pasture topping, because, well, they've done all the grazing ground at home, because I was spreading slurry and fertiliser for second cut. So this is the last field that needs doing. All the fields at home, all the pastures have all been done. So that's what we're on with. Anyway, we'll just get this topped off, and I just thought I'd do a little video and show you what a pasture topper does and what the aim of doing it is. This field is quite a steep bank in here. That's why we graze it, not mow it. See all the cow pats. Anyhow, a little bit green today on this little tractor, the 250. You probably don't see much of it on my YouTubing, but it doesn't do much over winter. But then in the summer it does all the bale wrapping, and then pasture topping as well. So it's perfect size for that topper. It's only like a Massey 135. Well, it basically is a Massey 135 souped up, really. It's got a nice cab on it. Well, I'll say nice. It's better than without a cab. But yeah, that's all right. We'll crack on and get this field done. field. We've just come out the field, and hopefully you can see now from this video why the pasture's off field. That field wasn't very bad of weeds at all. There were a few buttercups, the odd thistle, but nothing major. But that's most of the time you're either topping to get rid of thistles, or you're topping to get rid of seed heads. The grass will all come up and seeded. The cows won't eat it when it's seeded. It's stale. It's not no nutritional value really. So yeah, top it off, and then fresh regrowth will come. In about 2 or 3 weeks time, that field will be as good as the bottom field where the heifers have just got in. So that's why we're pasture top. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe below if you have, and thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.